Your Excellency Hun Manet, thank you very much for joining us on The World. You're probably the first generation of Cambodian that has had the benefit of relative peace, an external education that has opened your mind to many different ways and systems. Where do you stand in terms of the way forward for Cambodia?
I think there are factors that we need to preserve and build upon. Things that we need to preserve is at any cost, is the peace, stability, and security for the nations. That is the fundamental. It's a foundation for everything else. It's the development to stop prevention of further suffering and death of the people, like we've seen in the past of our history, because 500 years of internal conflicts.
You're widely tipped to succeed your father, Hun Sen. Is that your expectation?
Well, Cambodia is a multi-party democracy. The constitutions indicate that we have election every 5 years. So the choice, the decisions of who and when to be a leader is up to the people of Cambodia.
But would you like to be Prime Minister? Is that an ambition of yours? Would you like to carry on that mantle?
The answer is I don't know.
You must.
Yeah, I think it's the wish and the desire of the people.
But if the people judge, and that is the time will tell, would that be something that you would find fulfilling, to lead your people?
If the population, if the Cambodian people's, desires, then that's their wish.
But has it been something within your family that you have been groomed for? Have you talked about it for many years? Is it something that you felt?
No.
No, not at all?
No, actually, our fathers has stated many times that he doesn't want any of his children to follow in politics.
Well, you haven't listened very well, have you?
No, you know, what is politics? Politics is, it's has so broad meaning, considering as doing political work or preparation for the, to hold political office. I think that's not necessarily true. What you do, what I've done in the past is purely for humanitarian basis, for example. The engagement of youth, it's just with the passions to have that. Whether it is for politics or anything, it's not, that's what the concern. The concern is that how much it could contribute to society, how much, with the limited time I have on this earth, that I could contribute to, fulfilling the needs of many people and that.
Let's talk for a moment about, of course, your father has been in power for 30 years, and you've heard the criticisms before, repression, corruption, and now potentially they may point the finger and say there's nepotism in terms of you and your brother coming through. Does that sit uncomfortably with you? Do you see that there is a need for a different perception?
I mean, there's, no way to hold people for making judgment on things. That's human beings. People would see a glass, would say, some would say half empty, would say half full. It's their views, it's their decision of making up their mind, that we all respect that. But the facts of the matter is, what's really matter is deep down inside, what do you feel conviction of your actions? Your action is, my father is leading the country for 30 years. The facts that the country has moved from the day where people were being killed during the genocide region, up to the total peace and stability of the win-win policies that never achieved in Cambodia. The internal unity was absent for about 500 years. 98, that's when the whole country was under one unified government for the first time in about 500 years. All the peace and prosperities, all the liberties, all the freedom of expressions, the rights to life, the rights to education, the rights to basics welfare, the rights to, whole form association is there.
But by the same token, other countries that have moved in that same direction inevitably have to deal with those issues of corruption and giving everyone equal rights.
Please name a countries in this world that don't have corruptions.
Some to greater or lesser extent, yes. It's part of the journey.
The matter is not what we call a moral relativism. Because it's happened in other countries, it should be all right happen in Cambodia. It's not. The government, especially the Prime Minister, has taken and has speaking in public and taking many actions to counter and to eradicate and reduce the level of corruption. It started by the fact that we acknowledge there is still some problem to a certain extent, but there also progress in this realm. You know, the establishment of anti-corruption unit, the reform in many public sectors services, the reform in education services, and all this stuff, and the arrest and conviction of many high-level officials that conducted that.
So do you talk to your father about how long he's going to stay? And for you, if the people want you to, you'd be Prime Minister? Do I take that as a yes?
No. Not yet.
Not yet, but in time.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Hun Manet, Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.